In this bout, Shannon Briggs of the United States. Alex, this is the heavyweight final, the gold medal match. We haven't seen many heavyweight bouts in the competition.
Very strange Pan Am entries into this tournament. Only 3 heavyweights. Shannon Briggs of the United States got a bye all the way into the finals, a silver medalist without having a bout. Felix Savone of Cuba had to box Tom Glesby of Canada in the semifinals, and in that bout, Felix did nothing to hurt his reputation. Savone on the right, Glesby on the left. First, watch for a Glesby punch, not that one, but stand by for Glesby there. That right hand seemed to hurt Savone, wobbled him a little bit. He lost his balance, but then, from pushed off on his right foot and dropped Glesby down, and the fight was stopped seconds later by the Canadian coach as he threw in the towel. Felix Savone, you see him there walking into the ring. Only 23, the most dominant man in his division of any boxer in the amateurs. You hear the reception of the crowd. This Cuban crowd has been almost nonchalant so far during this bout. They've had so many gold medals here in Havana. But they're into it right now. This is one of their superstars. He really is the man on this Cuban team. His opponent, Shannon Briggs, just 19 years old, new kid on the block from the neighborhood of heavyweights, as he says, Brownsville in Brooklyn. This produced Mike Tyson, and there is Shannon Briggs. You see the unique hairstyle, the orange-colored dreadlocks through the headgear. Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, 2 of the heavyweights that come out of Brownsville. Shannon has had only 23 bouts as compared to Savone's 240 plus. But after seeing Savone in that semifinal we just saw tape of last Wednesday, Shannon Briggs said he was not intimidated.
He's big. The fight with the Canadian, I found that he could be hit. You know, he's a big guy and he seems a little uncoordinated. You know, he's so tall and everything. He bends down when he throws his shots. Hopefully I can catch him when he has to squat down to throw that big right hand. And he doesn't seem too fast to me, you know. But he's a good fighter. He's world champion. So I'm going into the fight and I'm going to be thinking a lot, you know.
Well, he would do well to think a lot and react a lot. He does not look intimidated. And you see Castro, he likes it, as does Teo Stevenson. Actually, Teo doesn't seem as interested. Teofilo Stevenson, 3-time world and Olympic champion. And Felix Savone there, himself a 2-time world champion, has always been a little bit resentful of having to work in the shadow of Stevenson. Ever since he was 17 or 18 years old, people have been calling him the next Teofilo, and Felix resents it a little bit, trying to make a name for himself.
The referee for the bout is Antonio Bernal of Brazil, and this is the big bout. Savone in the blue, Briggs in the red. The Cubans have won 9 goals to date, with 5 of them by stoppage.
If Shannon Briggs doesn't find a way, and it would be, you know, an upset of mind-boggling proportions, but if he doesn't find a way to win this bout, it will be the worst American showing in the Pan Am Games way back since 1951, which is they only had 8 bouts in 1951, and Argentina won all of them first year. But since this really became the Pan Am Games as we know it, the least we've won, I believe, is 2. So far, only the one by Steve Johnston.
Briggs missing with a couple of jabs. Savone pumping his left jab as well.
Felix Savone in the blue of Cuba. When you see him, you know, you heard Shannon say he looks a little uncoordinated. He is not a fluid boxer. He's got a phenomenal body. I mean, for any athlete. I mean, just incredible physique. But he does seem awkward and a little bit uncoordinated and stiff. There's nothing fluid about Felix. I mean, the biggest reason he's been able to establish such a reputation is the heavyweight division in amateur boxing just does not have very much talent in it and has not had any for a while.
Alex, to take a trip down memory lane, the last American to win this weight class was Dwayne Bobbick back in 1971 in Cali, Colombia. And I'll give you one guess who he beat.
I happen to know that because Dwayne is a good friend of mine. And the man he beat was Teofilo Stevenson, who then went on to beat Dwayne in 72 at the Olympics.
Briggs very cautious here early in the first round. Shannon Briggs has become one of the villains here of the Cuban crowd because of his outward cheering for his teammates during some of their bouts. Savone hit him with a right, a glancing right.
And that is the Savone power punch, as you saw on the replay with Glesberg. Savone's really done Shannon a favor here by fighting such a slow pace and a controlled pace. There, the right.
Oh, and he goes down.
End of controlled pace.
Hammer time in Havana. Shannon Briggs is in trouble.
Yeah, no, stop this. He says he's all right. Said he hit me on the elbow. Shannon did not put his gloves up, and they did not stop it.
Felix Savone registers the first decisive blow of the bout.
Decisive is an understatement.
Less than 30 seconds to go, and Briggs is out of it. He's out on his feet almost, Alex.
They'll stop it. That's it. Yeah, Shannon just doesn't understand what he has to do in amateur boxing. He hasn't been around long enough. He was badly hurt by 2 power punches, and they're just not going to let it go.
So Felix Savone makes it 10 golds for the Cubans. He ends it with 15 seconds to go in the first round. Shannon Briggs still protesting, though.
Shannon was thinking, and Felix was punching. That is the 5th stoppage in the 11 finals so far by the Cubans. There's just been a phenomenal amount of bouts not going the distance here. Either being knockouts, referee stops contest. The percentage of short bouts here, let's get the decision.
En la esquina azul de Cuba, Felix Savo.
There's Felix's little victory dance. He's still got his headgear on. Shannon Briggs has the haircut. Felix Savone has a first-round win.
And he is a real showman, Felix Savone.
Comes over to the American coaches. There's Tom Mustin. So now Felix Savone is a 2-time Pan American Games champion. And that win ties there, watch how big he is, over the top rope. Just the way Teo used to do it. We're going to take a look at some of the action. It's really pretty easy to call in terms of replays. You see that hand right there, the right hand of Felix Savone? Just keep watching it. The left actually did help there in causing the knockdown, but it was the right that stunned Shannon Briggs to begin with. Now, let's take a look at the punch that caused the referee to stop it. Boom. Drilled him. Obviously, Shannon Briggs needs to be held up by the ropes. And when